Look at these bright, happy faces. How are we, lads?
How you doing, mate?
I'm really well. We're in a hotel room right now.
We're in a hotel room in Colombia, Bogota.
That's a wild place to be. How's that?
First impressions are exactly what you said, pretty wild. We've only been here for 24 hours, so we're actually going out tonight for a few drinks. So we might have more information on that later.
Sure. Is this your first time in Colombia?
Yeah, first time. Yeah.
Cool. I've got a dear friend that lives in Colombia, and he says it's beautiful, but everything's really difficult.
Hmm.
I can see how that
Yeah.
could be true.
It's massive. Like you can't walk around it. So
Yeah, sure.
and it's pissing down rain at the moment as well.
I feel like that's so much of like South America is we don't understand the scale of just how big and how densely populated it is, which just because of the way the world's been like programmed to be, they're like, oh yeah, it's like small South America, but it's massive. There's so many amazing people there.
Everyone's been amazing so far we've met, haven't they?
Yeah, for sure. But same thing as you say, like we were in Argentina the other day in Buenos Aires, and you walk for an hour and you don't make any progress. You're just in the same spot.
I think coming from the UK where everything is so close together, anywhere is going to seem like that. Like Australia is kind of the same sort of thing. People are like, oh, like you should come to the show here. I was like, that would take me 12 hours to drive there. Like Australia is huge. You can't just pop over and watch the other state.
I mean, we're from London as well, so everyone ignores each other. So this is definitely a culture shock.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. People are waving and smiling and happy. What's that about?
Yeah, I know. What's wrong with them?
So this is a pretty extended tour you guys are doing. Are you back home for any time before coming down to Oz?
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a week and a half, 2 weeks. We go to Greece, Athens in between, and then we're out to Australia and New Zealand after that. And then it's festival season, and then it's America, and then probably something else.
Yeah.
Oh, Asia's in there somewhere as well.
Yeah, it never ends. And the crazy thing as well is like you guys were in Australia like a year ago. So you're coming back pretty quickly. Do you genuinely love touring?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
And I actually think we have a massive love for touring Oz. I think we found that in the last tour, actually, that one we did a year or so ago. We were just fully embracing it. It was probably like a post-COVID thing as well, just being like maybe falling into like taking it for granted previously. But
Sure.
there we were just sort of saying yes to everything, going out wherever we could and exploring and making the most of the gigs and loving every second of it. So yeah, it's kind of made us more hungry to come back. And I guess that's why we're coming back so soon.
Yeah. It's, I guess, because you guys have been here a few times too, you've been able to learn, hopefully, from the first mistakes the band make of getting here and just having like back-to-back shows with no time off in between. Because Australia is so big, you have to fly or drive a long way between shows. Have you given yourself a little bit more time on the ground this time?
There's a bit more. I mean, I was not sure it was last time or the time before. I think it was last time. We flew straight in and did like a radio session from the flight. Didn't even go to the hotel.
Right.
And then it was, we're doing like festivals and our own shows in between. This time it's a bit easier.
Yeah.
And I think like we got like a day off after Brisbane. We might head down to the Gold Coast and stuff.
Cool.
Try and soak it in a bit more, really. I think like, one of the reasons I come back so quick was like last time it felt like it went really well. And it felt like we were getting people on board. So we didn't want to kind of lose momentum so quick. So
it's nice to be able to kind of do that. Like you didn't have to be back in the studio. You didn't have a whole slew of tours booking you out elsewhere. To be able to kind of come back and capitalize on that is a bit of a luxury, I guess.
Definitely. I mean, this was pre-album was out. I mean, we didn't get to play Moral Panic during those years to Australia. So
true.
That was kind of the last tour. The last time we were here, that's kind of what we were doing. And then this time would be more like Deadclub City.
Yeah, the album hadn't dropped when you here last, had it? Did you get to play? I missed you last time, and I'm also missing you this time because I'm an idiot and I keep booking international trips when you're here. So I'm very sad about that. So if you could just like plan with my schedule next time, that'd be great. Did you get to play any of the newer songs last time?
We played Welcome to the DCC, and actually it was one of those moments where I think we were slightly apprehensive as how it was going to go down because it's a little bit of a shift sonically from what we usually do. But it absolutely went off. I think we opened the set with
No, it was the first song of the encore.
that was it. Yeah,
Okay.
we started the encore and it went fucking insane, and we were just so surprised, like genuinely shocked, because sometimes, you know, I mean, we're typically British and pessimistic, so you just assume the worst. But it went down really well, and yeah, we kept it there, and now we open a lot of our sets with it. So yeah, it'll be nice to do that again, but also explore and play way more of the album to everyone.
You get that thing where you go, I know we're gonna play a new one. They go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
Guess we'll sit there and cross our arms and judge for a while.
yeah, that's it.
Surely though, like my first time hearing that song, I was like, fuck, this is gonna be such a jam live, because it's so groovy and funky and dancey. Surely you'd have that in your head being like, people are not gonna be able to stand around and stay still for this. Like your first time hearing it, you can instantly kind of get in as that real like synthy bit kicks in. There's no way you can't dance. Were you confident that you're like, oh, we'll get people up and moving?
Yeah, I think you have that in the back of your mind, but you just never know. And like I say, it was a pleasant surprise. That song always had the DNA of a dance track in it, and we wanted to make sure that we carried that through to the live version, because we have to slightly alter and arrange, you know, a studio version for the live version. And yeah, I think it works. It definitely connected, and it's a highlight in every set that we play. It seems to resonate with everyone.
Yeah, sick. I think you touched briefly there on like the kind of sonic change in this album, and also on like the deluxe reissue thing of it. Was that something that like you had apprehensions about the live? Were you at all nervous about the response on record for that? Because whilst it still sounds very much like a Nothing But Thieves album, there is a big change in feel to it as well.
Yeah, I think we just kind of agreed to be bold eventually. So like we had Welcome to DCC, and that song wasn't even going to be the first single. It was kind of something we just meant to introduce the album, and we're just loving it in the studio. And we were like, well, if this is working for us, hopefully it works for other people as well. That's kind of the mantra of it. You know, if we're enjoying it, someone else is going to as well. But yeah, I mean, at the back of your mind, you do. It's always going to be a risk, but we probably learned it's a risk worth taking. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, happy about that.
Does it open up the opportunity to play with a more varied array of support bands, or to feature on different tours? Like you've gone from a pretty straight up indie rock feel to sort of changing and morphing over time. Has that allowed you to play with different bands in different sort of environments or different sort of festival feels?
I think we're definitely in the sort of we're quite lucky in that we can put on a lot of varied festival bills, where some bands might be pigeonholed, like you're the rock band, you're the pop band, stay in your lane sort of thing. Whereas we're able to, and we're very lucky to be able to sort of flow through different kinds of genre festivals, which is great. But I mean, we got an opportunity to work with Purple Disco Machine, who's like, you know, he's unreal, and he does loads of like, it's proper 80s inspired disco dance music, but done really, really well. And he works with amazing songwriters. And I guess like that was the perfect sort of segue from us exploring that with the Nothing But Thieves sound to collaborating with an artist that, you know, previously would be like, this is way too detached, but it felt like it wasn't part of this point. So yeah, I guess you're right. It did open some doors, and who knows if this is like, you know, a slight departure, or if we're going to go even further that way. You just don't know. But I think exploring this sound has been quite liberating for us.
What was there like a catalyst? Was there something that made you go, this is the sound we want to chase here? Was it like bands you listen to? Like you're rocking the Maiden sweatshirt right now, which big ups on that. Is there bands that like inspired you to sort of take this direction and have shaped each album, or has it been just like an intrinsic, this is what we feel like we want to do? It's not necessarily something we're listening to.
I don't know. I mean, influences change over time. I mean, if you look at the influences at the start of, you know, Nothing But Thieves and that first album, it's probably a bit different to where you are now, and you're influenced about what you're listening to. For me personally, I found an album called Time by ELO, and I knew ELO, but that was a completely new record on me, and I was like, wow, it's very conceptual, which is kind of what we were doing. So that was quite informative for me, I'd say. But that's just like one small aspect. You also got, like French, like Justice and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I think once you got a band, like a band of 5 people with different tastes, that's kind of where the magic happens, right? If you're all pulling in the same direction,
Sure.
might be a bit too pastiche.
Does it ever lead to like massive clashes? Because that can be hard. Whilst it's good to have 5 different perspectives, you can also lead to 5 very frustrated people that way.
No,
Not really. I
I
mean,
love that.
obviously arguments happen in the studio about certain things, but not massive clashes. We're quite conscious of like once the studio door closes, you friends again. It's not like that bit switches off, and then otherwise it gets a bit messy. You're essentially in a business with your mate, so you kind of got to be mindful of that.
I think
Yeah.
also there's just genuine alignment where the song is the most important thing. So you leave your ego like out the door, and you just make sure that every decision is based on hopefully what is best for the song, which is hard because it's such a subjective thing. But I don't think you make four albums with like 5 guys where there isn't some common thread and alignment within all of your tastes and what you're shooting for. Like we just wouldn't have got this far, if that wasn't the case.
Yeah, for sure. What about, as you said, 4 albums in, when it comes to writing the set list, are there any clashes there? Because I feel like that would be, the more songs you get, the harder that is to confine that into like a hour and a half.
Yeah, that is hard. I probably take the lead on it and then sort of present it to everyone else. And it's like, okay, what do you think about this? Like, I think this might flow well. And then you get in the studio, like rehearsal studio, and then people notice different things. So like Dom would be like, oh, like those keys are kind of a bit weird together, and then we'll mix it up in that way. I don't know. I get a lot of backlash from it normally. Like, why are you not playing this song? Like,
Yeah, that's gonna be, no matter what you play though, you're always gonna get that.
Now, once you got, unless we're gonna play every album full, every gig, like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's kind of comforting that we're at that level.
Does any thought go into the vocal performance and what's got to be backed up song for song, or like what's more straining on one versus the other? Because I know like there's some bands we talked to and they're like, oh, we won't do those 2 songs together because vocally I need to breathe in between. Is that a consideration at all?
Yeah,
we've spoken about that. This album's made that a bit easier in general. Like past albums, Connor's been horrible for a lot of those songs, and that it had to be more of like a conscious decision in the set list to be like, boys, I can't be doing this every night. So okay, fair enough, mate. But this album, sorry, his voice is treated in a slightly different way, and it's like a lot more falsetto, and that kind of just gives him a natural break in these songs, which is actually quite
sure.
nice.
Yeah, that I can imagine that'd be something to the whole band have to kind of be like aware of, being like, well, we play a thing that's on our hands, you're using your body to do it, so that is hard there. I want to talk to you guys. You just said about songs that you don't get to play. Not everyone's going to be happy. And I'm going to complain for a second here because I haven't heard. You guys did one of my all-time favorite covers on Like a Version a few years back. You did a song by an Aussie band, Gang of Thieves. Fuck, man. You know what I'm trying to get out there. That song for me still, it never got released on streaming or anything either, but I still have like a weird little bootleg version on my computer. And every time I hear it, I was like, oh my God, that's such a phenomenal cover. Does that, doing like versions of other people's songs, does that inspire you at all now? Or are you at a point where you're like, no, we just want to do our own thing? Or do you like the challenge of kind of reiterating or reworking someone else's work?
I don't know with that one actually. I mean, we've been a massive fan of Gang of Youths for years, and I think they're just a fucking awesome band. And it's one of those things where you want to put your stamp on it but not ruin it.
Yeah.
But you can't help but when you're like doing an arrangement to like kind of unpack the song a little bit and notice things that they've done, and whether it's conscious or not, I guess that would trickle into your your writing process maybe. But yeah, I think for us it's quite nice. It's quite freeing to do that because it's not your song. All you've got to do is just, like I say, put your stamp on it and try and do a Nothing But Thieves version of it. And luckily, I don't know what we really did with that version. I have a funny feeling we worked it out on the road in the tour bus. We were doing like a demo of it. I think we were in Europe touring, and it's not the sort of thing you can just turn up and be like, right, let's just do the cover. Like there had to be a lot of thought. We did demos of it and like, recorded it. I'm sure it was like legit. So no, I'm glad you vibed it because we definitely put a lot of effort into it, and it's been so many Aussie fans have connected with that. It's crazy.
And also them as well. Like they've said that they really like it, which is a bit of a relief. You don't want to ruin someone's song.
Yeah, about that. Don't do that again.
I was really happy hearing it.
Yeah, we have the mark of approval from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the riffs in that, the way you guys kind of made your own, I thought that was super fun. If there was to be another opportunity, is there a band or a song that comes to mind that you would like to do? You can have different answers on this one. I'm always interested to hear what songs people be like, fuck, I'd love to take a crack at this ourselves.
I mean, if we talk about Aussie bands, I absolutely love Ocean Alley. I think that's so. I fucking love them. Might be interested in something like that. I mean, covers are difficult. I think Connor would be sick at something like a bit off piece, like doing like a no.
Oh, we're frozen. There we go. We're back. No, we're not. We're frozen.
No, we've got you.
You got me. You froze. It's just me hanging out by myself.
No, we got you.
I heard he'd be sick at, and then you froze.
He'd be good at something like No Doubt, like something a bit left field, like Don't Speak or something.
Yeah, that would be sick. I'd love to do a bit of Gwen.
Yeah, for me, it's more like we've tried covering songs before and they just don't work. Like you got to try them first. So I know it sounds really fucking boring, but you can have like the best idea in your head and then you go to execute it and you're like, no, this is actually just terrible and it's an insult to the song. We're massive like Radiohead fans, massive Jeff Buckley fans. I think Connor's got such like an incredible vocal range that you're able to actually attempt those without them being massive failures. So
sure,
I don't know, maybe we've covered Radiohead in the past, but they've got so many like unreal tunes. But yeah, I don't know. Until you try it, you have no idea basically.
And what about dream tour collaborations? What's the band artist that you would love to go on tour with, like a bucket list for you? I don't want to jinx it, but this channel, we've several times had people be like, this is the goal. And then like 6 months later, they get a tour with those people. So it could happen. I'm just saying, dream big.
Queens would be great. Foo Fighters would be great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Radiohead, but if you tour with Radiohead, those fans don't give a fuck about the support band.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. Yeah. I'd love to tour them, but no one's going to care about us.
No one's going to care. Yeah. I mean, it'd be a free ticket every night for me, I suppose.
I feel like with Foos as well, we've been like one step away every time. We're really, really close to getting there. And it's funny because a lot of our bands and our peers, like friends of ours, have got the gig and they've loved it. And I feel like we've always been that close. So maybe one day, one day it will.
I was talking to Han and Jim from Hot Milk. They just did the Aussie tour with them recently. And they're like, it's the best. They're so much fun. They're the nicest dudes. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for you guys. I think that would be fun. Queens of Stone Age would be sick too, though.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I could see that sonically too. And I feel like the fans would get on board with you guys too.
Yeah, we met Josh Homme once and he was sweet. Nice guy. So
yeah,
maybe.
Cool. And what are we most excited for about touring down under this time round? As you said, you were itching to come back quickly. What's got you most excited?
There's so many elements of it, and like most of it, ironically, sounds like going on a holiday. Like the weather, the food, the drinks, like the people, like the culture is so much like we live in London where everyone's fucking miserable and like stressed and probably going to die before they're 50. And it's like you get a real kind of you get a taste of like laid back, relaxed living when you're in Oz, and no one really takes themselves too seriously. So that's incredibly refreshing, and you soak that up. But yeah, the gig's always great, and like to be able to year on year grow the band out there has been a dream come true, and we've got a lot of other friends in bands who've not been that fortunate, so we don't take it for granted. But yeah, the whole package, mate. And I'm not just saying that. Like, we all do love Oz, especially after that last time we were out there. It was incredible.
You touched before, said about you weren't sure if it was just off the back of COVID or it was just like the experience of being here. But from a like punter perspective, it goes along to the shows. I actually haven't seen much of a dip off in the crowd engagement and response to live shows. I feel like here people are still so stoked on bands coming out and playing, and the shows at the best I've ever been to from a crowd perspective continuously, which fingers crossed you guys get the same thing here. I can't see how you wouldn't, particularly when you've got such engaging, awesome new songs to play. I think people are going to have a great time. So
I hope so.
You'll have to come back again next year so I can come.
Stop going away.
Yeah, that's my problem. I got to stop doing it. I'm going to leave you with one very hard question. This is a question that Johnny and I normally ask, but seeing as my partner is not here with me, it's left to me. You guys are about to go on stage. You're dry, warm, comfortable, ready. It's going to be the biggest show. You're actually supporting Foo Fighters. It's going to be epic. You have to put on cold, wet socks or cold, wet underwear to start the show. What do you put on and why?
I mean, I reckon about 3 songs in, I have wet underwear and socks. It was not going to make that much difference to me.
It's very true. I mean, more importantly, I think someone's delivering some beers to our room.
Oh, that is important.
I didn't know you'd done that. That's good. I'll probably go with the soupy underwear.
Yeah, I think I agree.
You're both gone for underwear. Why?
I think it'll affect the show less. Socks could go wrong, probably.
Yeah, there's something that's I don't want to get like some sort of like blister, gangrene, trench foot vibe. That just I was going to say, what's the other option? Get trench.
Yeah. yeah. I don't know what the actual medical term there is, but
neither of these are good.
I don't think either is good. I think trying to justify why it's better is challenging, but I don't think I've actually played in wet underwear or wet socks before. We've probably played a wet enough stage where we've been soaked and nearly like flooded before. But
my concern is never like being wet. It's the chafing. My feet don't chafe, but heck, getting a gross wet crotch, that's a horrible experience.
What would you say most people go for?
It is 50-50. It really is 50-50. I'm 100% team wet socks. I run a lot and I get wet feet and like whatever, fuck it. They're on your feet. You're not thinking about it. Having like someone that surfs. Do you guys ever surf? Have you ever surfed?
Only once.
Okay.
But it's UK and rubbish.
Putting on like cold, wet wetsuit or anything like board shorts to go surfing, it's the worst experience. It's just like it instantly makes you feel shit. And I think about putting on cold, wet underwear to go and put on a show. I just feel like that would piss me off. Whereas my feet, it's like, oh, whatever. They're down there. That's so far away from my head. I don't have to think about it.
We've also got the pedal boards to deal with as well. But just the squelch of constantly pushing back.
I just think like the opposite of going out on stage with big dick energy as well. It'd be like going out on stage with really small dick energy.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
I'm changing it to socks. Let's go socks.
I knew it. I could do it. But dude, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. As I said, I'm bummed I can't make it, but I encourage everyone that's watching this to get along if they can. Have the best time here in Australia. And hopefully I'll see you out here not too far away in the future.
Thank you, man.
Nice
talking to you.
Legend. Thanks, guys.